Okay, it is the next day. Steady as she goes, no matter with what kind of negativity you got going on in your freaking life here, okay? Because I got a whole lot of it coming in from all kinds of different directions. And I'm going to upload this little video. I haven't done it yet, but it's a little recording that I had with Andre yesterday when I did I come home? Did I go to sleep? I don't remember. Oh yeah, I got up at 4 in the morning, and then after 4 in the morning, I got busy doing whatever, and I've been warning Andre for months that I was going to take this computer away from him. We'll get into the details in terms of co-therapy here when it comes to isolating the issues that I have with Andre. Like, he keeps putting stupid crap over here that's like butter, greasy, meat packaging. This is where the telephone is. There's jars there. You know, there's Mari's just, it's not supposed to be there because he's too lazy to take it around and put shit in the garbage or put shit in the sink or put things, right? He'll take something. Honest to God, I swear this is what he fucking does. Okay, you see this fork? And he'll just, where's the camera here? Did you see what I did? And then I come along after cleaning it up yesterday, and I'm now looking and I see, or whatever, there's more paper, and then I'm, I can't see it very well sometimes, right? So I feel, right? And it's like a freaking fork, and I knew that fork wasn't there yesterday, but it's way over there. Like, how the hell did that happen? Or maybe over there. Or it just simply disappears. I tell Andre, I need spoons to cook. I can't do things without my freaking spoons. Half my shit in here, half of this shit is fucking gone, people. It's bloody bullshit, right? So, and then, just other little things, and sometimes that, and, he doesn't like to, I told you, he's got these people in his life, taking him out, doing things, giving him things that he wants, basically, right? Whether it's giving him a bike, like Brad, 2, as a matter of fact. First one got stolen, and then he gave him another one because he just happened to have them because all his kids grew up and he had them up in the attic. So, whatever, right? He gives him money for a little bit of work. So, right? Never reprimands him for anything, right? Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. Same thing with Marcane. He'll take him to the island, disappear for happily all day from 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night, because they went to the island and took a ferry, or he'll take him out for a walk, or, take him, Marina took him to a movie, whatever, or just fucking whatever, right? But they never reprimand him. They don't have to, because he's on his best behavior. They got him exactly where they want him. He will do anything and everything to please them. Whereas with me, he puts his heels into the ground. It will either go in one ear, out the other ear. 3 days later, I'm still asking him to take out the garbage. It's still going in one ear, out the other ear. I have recycle up by the front door, asking him to take out the recycle in one ear, out the other ear. I've been asking him for weeks and weeks and weeks to do his laundry. I already spoke to Marcane. I told him we need to do laundry downstairs 2 to 3 times a week, 2 or 3 loads, depending on what's going on with Amari, because Amari leaks out with the diapers, because he's so freaking skinny. His stream with the urine is very strong, and if things aren't lined up properly, it shoots out from where the diaper fits between the legs, because there's a gap, because there's no fat there on him, right? So if he's peeing, and then before you know it, you just changed the blankets, you just changed Amari, you just changed the diaper, you come back a half an hour later, or 45 minutes, or an hour, or whatever, and he's like sopping wet, pissed all over the place because it leaked. So then what? Where do I put the fucking laundry? Okay? Oh, it just piles up in here, piles up, right? Piling up in the bathroom. Andre's taking baths. I tell him, stop using all the towels. I'm washing towels. It's nothing for him to just go get another clean towel. So, I have a stack of towels like this, 2 stacks. Next thing you know, I'm down to nothing. And I'm pleading with him to go do his freaking laundry. Stop using all the towels, or whatever. in one ear, out the other, because he's too busy running off for bike rides with Brad, or going for a walk with Marina and Marcaine to go get an ice cream, or whatever, or cooking downstairs, all happy-go-lucky, as they're all talking bad about me. So he hears that. And not only does he hear it, he witnesses it, how they treat me, people. And you can't be surprised that he isn't, I want my quarterback. Now, give it to me now. Because I'm going to upload this little recording because it's terrible teens. I'm going into the terrible teens and I tell them, listen, you can either be one or two kinds of teen. You're either going to be a respectful teen and grow up respectful and responsible, or you're going to end up being a bloody freaking little dickhead, right, that's got a whole bunch of emotional problems running around causing havoc. Which one is it, Andre? Which one do you choose? I swear, I'm the only one that reprimands him, and because of that, I'm the one that gets the brunt, as everybody that's rewarding him for doing what they want him to do, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, mow the grass. Andre Marcaine took him for a little job for one day. Whatever Andre was doing, you rewarded him for that, gave him a little bit of money for that. So, but no reprimand. No, like, go home and help your Nana. Go home and clean up your own dirty clothes. You're 14 years old, for crying out loud. Go home and you don't have to be asking. She doesn't have to ask you to clean up the freaking living room. You know how many times in a day I ask him to clean the living room? And I go in there eventually, and what do I find? I find dirty dishes in there that he buried, because he goes in there, he comes in here, he fries, he takes macaroni all over the place, packaging on the fucking floor, dirty pot, frying pan, eggs, whatever. He goes in there, he sits down, and because I'm exhausted, I'm probably sleeping by this point. He eating, okay, fine, he's keeping an eye on Maury, yeah, fair enough, I understand that. But then he takes the dish and he fucking just buries it. So I come there 2 or 3 weeks later, after the fact, with no freaking silverware, looking for my silverware, okay? And what do I find? A big amount of fucking dirty dishes that have gone moldy and all this crap. And it's time after time after time. As fast as I clean the living room, he's right back doing it. And I catch him and I tell him, get it out of there. Stop doing it in one ear, out the other. Because he's got them downstairs saying, oh, let's go for a walk and pretend everything is okay. Because your Nana's just a bitch. Yeah, my mom's a bitch. Marina, well, Judy's the problem. Mrs. Gill, oh yeah, Judy's the problem. She's not pulling morning glory for her fast enough. Or doing this or doing that, or tearing this down or throwing that out. Like, what the fuck, man? Right? Like my son doesn't get it. Like, eventually he phoned me back. I'm going to upload this little recording so you can kind of see how I have to. And when this shit starts with Andre, where he's like, all of a sudden knows everything, is like a fucking genius here, can read, write, do calculus and algebra, and is a brain surgeon and a freaking astronaut, and knows everything in the world. He's right and nothing is right. I'm going to have to deal with that shit for a fucking hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on what the hell's going on. And it's so draining. And then Marcaine calls upstairs and acts like it's my fault. Because, we holler, right? He triggers me. If you listen to that recording, he was trying to trigger me to holler so that he could accuse me of hollering at him. And that's all I do, which is bullshit. Yeah, if I'm in here, I cleaned up yesterday, I washed over there the floor and everything, and then I come back the next day, and then I go in the fridge, and I'm looking on the floor, and I see shit on the floor spilt, and I see a freaking dirty this and fucking that, or whatever, or a plate. I find plates over there, for crying out loud. I find plates over there. I find them all over the place, because he just doesn't care to take it to the sink, scrape out the whatever, and put it, rinse it off. No, he'll just leave it or hide it, or just throw it. I'd like to see Marcaine deal with that shit every day. I'd like to see Marina deal with that shit every day. Yeah, right. But they won't. No. Because it's a pissing contest. Choose sides. You're either going to be with us or you're going to be against us. Well, clearly he's going against me. Because it's the path of least resistance where he gets rewarded to do that, people. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for an ice cream cone. Let's go for a sandwich. Let's go for whatever. Let's go camping. Let's go fucking to the island for a day. Let's go for a drive. Let's go to the ocean. Everything, right? No consequences for nothing. Right? I can't even go downstairs and get my shit, people. Because of this, whatever happened with the deep freeze, which I do not believe is broken, I don't. There's a very small little part of me that believes that that is the true story and nothing but the truth. The other part tells me they wanted more fucking space. They figured out how to way to get rid of it by just saying that it started smoking. Therefore, don't plug it back in and you'll never know. And empty out the shit, throw it out in the garbage. Who cares if you waste more money? Because it's not their money, it's my money. And they're all about trashing me anyway. So I'm canning as my son is screaming at me that I'm going to poison everybody. As if. And then Mari has a seizure. And then I come home and I have to go into battle axe mode with Andre. Because I gotta put my foot down because I'm trying so hard to get a fucking handle on shit. But how the hell can you get a handle on shit when you're going around in fucking circles picking up the same silverware that you picked up yesterday or 2 days or 4 days or a week ago in the same fucking spot? Way over there, buried among other things. Not to mention you stick your hand in there and you come across a plate with dirty fucking food on it because he was too lazy to take it and put it over here. Or you go in the living room after you spend a whole day cleaning up the living room. You tell him that's it, no more. If you keep up with the shit, I'm taking away the computer, right? And time after time after time, month after month, it's the same stupid shit. Okay? And like I'm fed up with it. I'm trying to get a handle on my life before I go fucking blind and everybody comes in here and accuses me of this, calls me that, attacks me here, robs me there, steal from me over there, and fucking corner me and isolate me and abuse me more than they're already doing it. As they get Andre to jump on the bandwagon with them because they reward him for being such a good boy for them. He's nice and polite. He does what they ask him to do. Yeah. And then when he busts a nut and he takes out his displaced anger or frustration or whatever is going on with, you know how kids are, right? On me because I'm safe. And he can think he can practice being a man as a role model to Marcaine. Because he gets this cockiness from Marcaine by the way Marcaine talks to me. Or doesn't talk to me. Or yells at me. Or calls me names. Or whatever. You're just a dumbass, Mom. Yeah, okay. Now we know why Andre calls me a dumbass. Because he hears you doing it. Oh, but you deserve it. Because you don't know how to communicate. Do I really not know how to communicate? Yeah, okay. Okay, I don't know, people. So I gotta stay true to what I'm doing. Now, get on that subject. Now that I've did my first little bout with my salmon-sized jar with that ground turkey yesterday from 2023, I have no regrets buying these jars extra for what I'm doing right now. Because this is going to be these jars, whether it's turkey, chicken, pork, fish, doesn't matter what kind of fish, beef, kale, because I got some of these, right? Or today, right? Today, I don't care what the hell is going on. Today, at some point, I'm canning this size jar with that marrow plant that's growing outside. Okay? Why? Oh, I don't know. Because if I open up a jar and put it into either our food as a family, Andre, Amari, and myself, or if I put a jar into Amari's food as I'm making it to put into the blender so I can put it in the fridge and get... No, I don't even get a reprieve. Forget about this 2-day fucking reprieve because I have to make the next batch starting today so that when this stuff that I made yesterday runs out, right? Like, I am bound to the kitchen. The bigger Amari gets, the more bound I become to the kitchen as people around me are abusing me, including my own grandson now. Because, in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, for all this positive freaking role model shit that's going on in his life to get him to perform to be a good boy is counterproductive to the other message that they give him, which is, your nana is garbage. Your Nana is a waste of time. Your Nana doesn't know how to communicate. Your Nana is the problem. Your Nana needs to fucking go away and leave us alone and disappear and basically fucking die and get out of our face. Okay? And that's the messaging, and therefore we have a right to steal from your Nana. We have a right to throw your Nana's stuff out. I don't care if it's Mrs. Gill and her fucking antics. I don't care if it's fucking Marcane and Marina or Rhea or whoever. That is the pattern that these people, so-called adults, responsible adults, are projecting on Andre. So we can't be surprised that he's bucking the bullet and mimicking what they're telling him through their subliminal messaging. If it's not straight up freaking in his face and he hears it right from the horse's mouth. I go downstairs before my son is 2 times. 2 times. The first time before, right? All I did was ask him to help me to move some shit from Shimei's room so that when he was gone and Marina, I could go in there and get a handle on shit because they made a mess. And I haven't been in there in years. And I need to get in there because I can't afford to keep buying fucking groceries as my groceries are being held against me as in being held hostage. I'm being denied to get my groceries when I can't go downstairs. Okay? I have to get permission by somebody that pays the least amount of rent in this house. That has no seniority of any sort outside of a certificate that says that she's married to my son. Okay? But because of that, I can't go downstairs. It's very uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable? Try walking in my shoes when you know you got food down there, but you can't fucking access it. Try walking in my shoes when you know that you could be blindsided any time and find more shit outside and getting destroyed, or it just simply disappears. Try that one. Yeah, okay. So that's besides that point. I'm just so mad, people. Like, fuck, man. This is where you want to shut out and walk away and not look back. Well, where are you going to go? That's a big decision. Some people do that. I'm not ready for that. Okay? Not yet. And when I do, I'm coming back and I'm getting my shit. I'm going to put it somewhere. Because they're not going to win by fucking robbing me right until my grave. Because that's pretty much what it boils down to. Yeah. As they accuse me of being the problem. Yeah, as I try and teach Andre to grow up and be respectful and not take things from people and not abuse people's belongings. Like take a fucking something and just you know. I try and teach him not to do that. But when he's got trashy people going around trashing his Nana's shit 24/7, year after year after year, whether it's attitude, your Nana's trash. Anything she owns is trash. Throw it out, sell it, give it away, let it get ruined. Doesn't matter. It's trash. Why can we not expect this kind of fucking behavior? Huh? It's trash. Treat it like trash like everybody else around Nana treats her shit like trash. Wouldn't you get tired of going around picking up silverware, assuming that you can even find what you need after a while, with you saying, stop, 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 going in one ear and out the other ear, because all he's thinking about is his next little joyride, going to the freaking beach, going camping, going to Victoria, going for a sandwich, going to the gym, right? Going just whatever. Anything fun, nothing fucking serious where, you know, you need to straighten up, boy, and start showing some respect to your Nana. I don't think my son ever says that to Andre, because that's not the agenda. They pit one against the other, and the one that they're using to pit, they make them choose. Andre is choosing to grow up to be like them. It's okay to steal. It's okay to fucking lie. It's okay to fucking manipulate and be in denial that you're the problem, and maybe the one that you're accusing of being the problem is just trying to deal with your fucking problem so that the whole house doesn't come crashing down. If I walk out or I just say, that's it, I'm not doing this shit no more, how long do you think this house would maintain itself? Oh yeah, my son would be able to keep it together for a little while with his quote-unquote wife. But do you honestly think Marina has the fucking life experiences to deal with the shit when the shit really hits the fucking fan? And then hold down the fort and keep it fucking going as she's now being attacked? Walk in my shoes. I gotta go downstairs and clean the fridge. I asked Andre for a month, because sometimes I buy vegetables and shit, right? And they go downstairs, right? And I, like, for the last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I've been like, Andre, bring up any vegetables that are in there, because I never go downstairs. I'm not allowed. It's an inconvenience for somebody that does nothing all fucking day. She's not working. She's just down there by herself, sewing or whatever. And even if she is working, I still have a fucking right to go into my fridge downstairs. I need it. I need 2 fridges up here, people, because of Amari. That's what I'm learning here. You gotta have a more functioning kitchen and at least 2 fridges where you can freaking keep up with the demand of feeding him. You cannot rely on these things. I told the social worker and the dietitian and all those people at the hospital when they went through the run, right? Because they have their protocols, right? It is so easy to rely on these things to feed a child like Amari so that you can get on and do the things that you want to do in a day as a caregiver. But these things are not as good as this stuff. But with this stuff comes work. Comes strategy, comes, I don't know, space, method of madness, whatever you want to call it. You have to build in a system. But, as soon as they come in, what are you doing? Oh, this is a waste of fucking time. Oh, yeah, like, you're crazy. Like, why do you need so much? This is redundant. Well, you know what? The stuff, that turkey could have been frozen in little bags with my freezer being sabotaged. And then all of a sudden, I'm throwing out $100 worth of freaking ground turkey, okay, that I grounded and bagged up into proportions. Because I couldn't can it. Because the people around me don't value what I do. And made it so that I couldn't can it. Right? Because I was expected to throw it out. Because if I didn't throw it out, somehow I was being irresponsible. Well, you know what? I'm glad I canned it. Because when I needed it, like yesterday, I got it. Okay? So there's an advantage to canning. Because for the number size of these little jars that I got with turkey, beef, whatever, pork, blah, 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 I can make a lot of meals with Amari based on what I tried to do yesterday. And the more I do it, the better I'm going to get at it. And that's the point, okay? I'm not going to rely on because I'm expected to get rid of my shit. I'm expected to move into a fucking hole with nothing in it except a bunch of mice and maybe some other kind of bugs. Because that's all I can afford. Because basically, I'm trash. But before I get in there, I have to make sure I get rid of my shit. Because that's what the epitome of what is right in our society that have money, that have good jobs, expect from me to do. As I, look after Amari under those circumstances. And then when they come in and they take him, they'll be like, well, she deserved it because she couldn't look after Amari because she was nothing but a trashy bitch. Yeah, well, that's because that's what you brought me down to. You took away my shit. You isolated me. You made it so it was hard for me. You came in multiples, as in gang stalking, one after another, as you recruited the ones that were close to me, like recruit Andre to jump on the bandwagon, because God forbid, he doesn't want to be picked on like I'm being picked on. He doesn't want Marcane to yell at him like Marcane yells at me. I go downstairs, help me with that room. Oh, not even at the room, and he's already ragging on me about stupid books. And I'm like, just leave it, we'll deal with it. Oh, well, I didn't even take the bait. I just fucking left. So I realize you're busy, forget it. Oh, I'm not that busy. It doesn't matter. I'm not, you know what? If you're going to come to me and you're going to start ragging on me the minute before we even start and you expect me to give my shit away after everything that you've done, forget it. I'll find a way to try and do it for myself. All right. And then, of course, I'm dealing with the freezer. The next day I go down to grab some stuff to start canning, and he starts in on me again. And he cutting me up for not throwing everything out because it had been in the freezer for 3 days. I'm like, yeah, that's okay though. It's still cold. Some of it's still either frozen or half frozen. Oh no, it's not. It's all garbage. You're just gonna poison us. Blah blah. I've been dealing with this shit for fucking years. I'm like, fuck off. And I threw a little frozen, half frozen packet of freaking, what is that? Because I said, here, catch and see. Don't accuse me of not knowing what the hell what I'm doing, because I know what I'm fucking doing here. You see, that's the point. And I'm tired of your damn insults. I'm tired of you treating me less than a child that's deserving of love and a family that is a fucked up family to begin with because of the bullshit attitudes that society in general has imported into their brains so that, they can accuse everybody else of doing something. But I take responsibility for having congestion in the kitchen, but there's a method to the madness, because at the end of the day, I can use this, and I don't have to worry about being sabotaged outside of, in terms of having the deep freeze unplugged, or even breaking for that matter, okay? You know what I'm saying? I don't have to worry about that. All I have to worry about in this situation is not being locked out from it. I can't take it downstairs. I'll never get to it. And if I do, at what price? And how often? I have to clean that fucking fridge downstairs. I never got a chance to clean it. Marina's coming home on fucking Friday. Oh, good luck cleaning the fridge. She's not working. She's home every fucking day. I gotta plead and beg and grovel to be able to go downstairs into Auntie Shmei's fridge and clean the fucking fridge. Because Andre didn't listen to me, because when I asked him to do things in one ear, out the other, I said, bring up any vegetables, I don't care what it is, good, bad, just bring them up, because they've been down there too long, because I've been busy going around cleaning up after his little scattery brain ways, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And what does he do? He doesn't do it. So when I finally do get down there, because of the deep freeze, only because of the deep freeze, I find something there, that spinach or something that spoiled and turned into water and leaked all over the fucking place. I have to clean that. And now I have to grovel from somebody that wants to accuse me of being the fucking problem, as she's smiling up in my grandson's face, trying to act like she loves him, cares about him, wants the best for him, giving him basically all the attention and praise and whatever it is that he wants, so that, he favors her because he gets something positive, even though he knows she doesn't like me. Even though he knows that she causes trouble for me. But he's at that age where he wants to be accepted. So, these kids that are vulnerable, how do they get caught up in gangs, people? How do gangs capture kids, people? By being nice to them. Giving them what they want. Oh, let's go for a burger. We talked about this before. So anyway, yeah, so I just, whatever, hollered and screamed. Marcane got what I had to get as fast as I could, and I didn't even holler and scream. He was the fucking one hollering and screaming at me, calling me names, all this stupid shit. He ended up phoning me later, a day or so later, and, oh, I'm sorry. And I said, well, I appreciate that, but at the end of the day, did he learn anything? Probably not. Probably not. And when Andre asks like this, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, sorry can only get you so far. Right? It's easy to say sorry. So I had to make a decision after 2 or 3 months of saying, I'm going to take away the computer. I'm warning you. I don't care. And I don't care. You can take the computer away. Because I've been repeating myself over and over again about certain things that go on, like the throwing of the silverware and leaving the plates and, and taking my stuff. He'll randomly take my shit. Like, just stupid shit, man. Shit disappears. Shit disappears. There's for this blender, okay, here's the lid, and then it has a little silver, one with 4 blades, one with 2 blades. I like the 2-blade one. That thing disappeared, literally up and disappeared. I cannot find it anywhere. There's only one person in the house besides me, and that would be Andre. And I'm like, Andre, it comes with 2 little things. Where's the other one? I don't know. It won't take no responsibility. Nothing. I have this little red cup that has a little nipple on it. Perfect for Andre. That's Amari. That's the only one that he'll drink from. A cup like this. A cup like this, but it's red. And it has a lid that has its own nipple. He won't drink from these. Any kind. Just that red cup. It was over here. And because Andre just likes to do random things for no reason other than the lid disappeared. I can't find it anywhere. I'm enraged. I'm looking all the time for it because that cup, that's the only cup Amari will drink from, and I can't find it. I have to buy new blenders, right? Because cups, the metal cups are disappearing. And Andre doesn't want to take no responsibility for it. I'm hoping and I'm crossing my fingers that eventually when I get a chance to clear out that fucking little storage room over there, my inside porch, overflow area, that I'm going to not only find that lid for that cup, but I'm also going to find this just tossed in there with all my spoons. I'd like to see Marcane deal with that shit. And then, you know, we argue, Andre and I, right? Because, you know, you as a parent, or, you know, you can't let, you can let them express themselves, but you can't let them get to the point where you become the bitch. And they walk all over you. So at some point you have to open your mouth. And of course, you know, if they're raising their voice, knowing that you're going to trigger them, they're good. If they're raising their voice, posturing, whatever, right? And you respond, right? And then of course it goes like this. And don't forget, when Andre was in Sierra's stomach, him and her, Austin and Sierra, fighting. So it's in his DNA, right? It's already in his DNA. So, you know, but I don't know. Yeah, Marcane will call up and he'll blame me for it. He'll blame me that Andre and I are having a hollering match because it gets a little loud, right? Because he gets louder, I get louder. He gets, you know, whatever, I come back and say whatever and try and be firm. That's what it is. I'm trying to be firm. But anyway, and then of course, I'm the problem. I'm the problem. Even if I try and get Andre to disconnect, it can take an hour, a half an hour to an hour to get that boy to disconnect from whatever fucking he's gooning on. Seriously, do you know how draining that is? And if I'm like stuck in a corner sitting at my desk or wherever, right, it becomes, for me, it somewhat becomes intimidating. So I brought it to his attention with this last little bout, that you can't be going around doing that shit, because one day you're going to come across somebody that's not going to tolerate it. And plus, I'm an adult, and also I'm your nana, and you need to show respect. But when nobody around me respects me, why the hell should he respect me? My landlords don't respect me. Marcane and his wife don't fucking respect me. You know, Tisha's a hit and miss. 1 minute we're talking, next minute we're not. You know, it's a freaking roller coaster in there, depending on what's going on and why things are happening that way, because it usually boils down to, you know, me not giving something in terms of something, who knows, right? Like, she even stopped talking to me about what Rhea did, and she's still saying, you know, well, how do you know? And, you know, you said it was 15 minutes. I said, yeah, well, anybody, that's what you normally say, 10, 15 minutes, but it was more like a half an hour or more. I just lost track of time. Yeah, because I got comfortable with somebody being in my house that I knew for 9 freaking years, and look what it got me, right? You know what I'm saying? I assumed something when I should have went and double-checked more than once. I should have double-checked what the hell she was walking out of with before she loaded up in the truck. But I was so exhausted because of all the bullshit crap that I go through, because of the people around me that are tearing my life apart. And Andre feels helpless to do anything about it. So he, instead of being a battle axe against, you know, the ones that he can't push back on, because otherwise they'll start attacking him, he's slowly but surely siding with them. And that's why they're giving him everything that he basically wants when they want to give it to him. And they never have to reprimand him outside of, if he's disrespectful to them, they're not going to give him anything. They don't care how he treats me. It's all about how he treats them. If Andre did what he does with me to them downstairs, whether it's throwing things around, being sloppy, in one ear, out the other ear, being rude, obnoxious, right? Posturing. Do you honestly think that they would carry on with the things that they've been doing by taking him here and taking him there and doing this and doing that? No, there's a motive behind it. It's not because they care about Andre. Sure, they do. Of course they care about Andre, but they're pulling him away so that it can isolate me even more, so that, when my time comes, that's it, people. It's game over. And they're teaching him how to behave that way. And he's going to repeat the cycle when he's older. And I told him, with you going around grabbing things randomly, anything, it doesn't matter, grabbing shit randomly, grabbing stuff randomly, walking off with it, and then fucking either it completely disappears or I find it in the bathroom on the floor. It doesn't matter, right? Then you tell me how you're any more different than Rhea grabbing this and grabbing. Don't train yourself to start grabbing shit and walking off with shit. Don't go into people's stuff by my desk, grab the freaking nail clippers, and then I find them opened up over there. And the only reason I found them is because I could kind of see them with them opened up. So if I needed my nail clippers, I wouldn't have known where they were, because he specifically went on my desk and he fucking took them and then he moved them over there, and who knows what would have happened to them if I wouldn't have seen them. And then when I needed nail clippers, I wouldn't have been able to find them. And I tell him, don't go into my... I don't ever touch your stuff. Well, if that's the case, why the hell were the nail clippers over there? Why? And he just doesn't answer. Doesn't care. As he's insisting that he doesn't go into my stuff, onto my desk area. I'm not stupid. I'd like to see Marcaine cope with that shit. I'd like to see Marina cope with that shit. Or anyone that's trying to influence him in a positive way for a negative result. For a negative result, because this is the negative result to their positive influencing. To their positive role modeling. As long as he's polite to them, gives them what they want emotionally, psychologically, even physically, in terms of, cooking or going out, doing things physically, like when Mark took him to the job site for that one day, that was a physical part of it, right? Walking to the store, as long as he walks to the store all nice and polite, doesn't cause no problems, doesn't act out, then sure, they're going to reward him for that, right? But if he went to walking to the store, talking the way he'd been talking to me, as he's being cocky and, posturing and acting like a fucking hoodlum with his pants half hanging down, don't you think that my son wouldn't say something about that? Of course he would. But Andre's not stupid. He's going to give them what they want because he's going to get something from it. Which reinforces that, don't listen to Nana, because Nana is the problem. When Nana's got something to say. Yeah. Or when Nana wants something. Yeah. Because all of a sudden he's the victim. My son phoned up after all that shit happened with that little recording. What's up? I blah, 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 blah. I said something, and then he said, to me, on the phone, don't expect me to give you sympathy on that. Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? I don't expect you to give me your sympathy. I expect you to fucking grow up and act like an adult. And while you're at it, tell your wife to fucking grow up and act like an adult. So I can go downstairs and get my fucking food when I need it. So I can go downstairs and sort shit out, decide what I'm going to sell when it comes to my fabric or whatever when I need it. You expect me to get rid of my shit, but you just want me to throw it out and cut my losses because it's nothing to you because you make good money. Right? You can afford to feed yourself and Marina and a little bit of food upstairs as you plan for your future without me in it. And if I am, I'm locked up like a dirty secret, at risk to being abused more than I'm already being abused. So, regardless, I'm a responsible adult on a mission to build in a meal program that works. Not only for Amari, but of course I have to think outside of the box and make that enamel crock pot with food for Andre. And then I might eat some of it. Otherwise, I don't fucking eat. Very little. When I do this shit. You want to know what I ate yesterday? A few bags of chips. A few chips in a bag. That was it. I lay down at fucking 10 o'clock at night or whatever the hell it was. I ate a few chips just to take the hunger pains away. And I went to fucking sleep and I've been up. And the first minute I got up, within the first half an hour, I had my first coffee. And I'm like, okay, you can do this. And as you do this, brace yourself for the criticism that's going to come walking through your door. Because you've got this shit here. That's the first thing. Being told that I'm doing foolish things because this is redundant. Well, clearly, freezers aren't dependable. This is dependable, providing you don't get locked out from it. So I have to find room in my room. That's annoying, because I don't have any room in there left. I'm trying to think what I can take out, so I can put these things in there and not have to worry and get all stressed out about getting permission to go downstairs in my own fucking house. Well, I have it, being that it's going to be my last house, because my landlord has cemented that in stone, because she's already been my, what is it, prosecutor, jury, judge, and executioner, and has told me exactly where I'm going to be with my life when I leave her house. So I better get ready for it. Well, before I can do that, I have to make sure that I got a plan and there's a way for me to feed my grandson. And anything else after the fact, when I'm dead, if anyone wants to come and watch my videos to find out how I built in a system to make it happen where it's not so stressful as everybody's attacking you around you, treating you like you're garbage and calling you this and isolating you and making it hard and just whatever bullshit, stealing your shit, making extra work for you as you're trying to rescue your shit. You know, it doesn't matter. It comes from all kinds of different directions. Andre's jumping on that freaking bandwagon, people. Do you blame him? If you got a room of 10 people sitting in a room, this is red, but you got one person insisting that it's green, but everybody can see that it's red, and then they're putting pressure on one other person out of those 9. So you got 10 people, one person out of 10 is saying, no, this is not red, this is green. He looks over to the guy next to him. You see this? Right? And he's intimidating and posturing and arguing and saying, no, this is green. Straighten up, get it through your head. This is green. Eventually that person's going to get nervous, they're going to get weak, and they're going to agree that it's green. And once you got 2 people saying it's green, and then all of a sudden there's 3 people. By the time they're done with their freaking stupid studies, fucking everybody in the room is convinced that this is freaking green, only because one asshole said so, who was a bully and convinced everybody to go against what was correct. Well, that's the situation I am in. So no, you don't get the computer because you randomly go around picking up shit, disappearing with it. It either disappears completely from the house, you don't want to admit that you did it, there's nobody else in the house to do it except you, or you just toss it, or you just bear it, you throw it on the floor, or whatever. And until that stops, don't expect the computer back, because that is like a thief just randomly coming, taking shit and walking off with it, and then not caring after the fact of putting it back where it belongs because they stole it. It's just a different kind of way of stealing something without being held to account. And when you got people like Rhea come into your house and doing what they do, you don't think that's making him think that he can even do what he does even more? Damn right. As Marcane's throwing out my shit, oh, just throw everything out in the garbage. You're just trying to kill us, Mom. No. No. I live on the farm. I'm eating what's in the house. I'm not spending very much money in the grocery store. I figure I saved myself $350, $400. I know it doesn't seem like very much. Sure, I had to buy some jars, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be going through this stuff like water once I start with Amari's food. The way I plan on building it in. With no help from anybody, except for maybe Andre, keeping an eye on Amari while I cook. Eventually, I'd like to be able to teach Andre how to cook the meals through these things, but, you know, there's no counter space, and it's always something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what's going to be chucked out next and what's going to end up piling up in here as I struggle with it, or wherever. Like, we just don't know. So anyway, let's just get on with it, okay? All right, so I had a pea. I put peas, like the letter P, on the jars that had them, but for whatever reason, they seem to have washed away. Because I had beef liver, right? I don't know where it went. I got one jar that still has the letter P on it right here. Okay, now I did put, but this maybe I used a different kind of pen. So this one is it's either a pork sausage or like a pork tenderloin. And I did either pork tenderloin because they were like, right, chunks, or I cut the sausage and then I cut the little pork tenderloin into chunks, and I did a little bit of both. Either or, I got a few jars of that, but because I can't see the peas, only the one, I don't know what jars they are, so in this situation, Andre would have to look for me. Okay, I would say this is bacon because you can see the level of fat. Look how nice that is. That is really, really nice, people. All right, and it tastes really, really good. Okay, and you know that whatever's on the inside down in here is gelatin. Okay, okay, this is so nice. And look at the headspace. That's a good headspace because the grease won't crawl as fast as it would if the headspace was higher. That's important, right? So I put it at about 1 inch, and I think I added just a tad bit of water, so that even would make more of that gelatin, which is, you know, collagen and whatnot, right? Like, so it's pretty straightforward to tell which one is the bacon. I could have stuffed it a little tighter, you know what I'm saying? I could have, like, when I put it in, the meat was, like, the bacon itself was right about, like, 1 inch. So either or, that, to me, I'm still satisfied with that, okay? And we got a fair amount of those, okay? Like a fair amount. Really good stuff. So I'm impressed with that, okay? And we got, yeah. And then we've got, obviously, a few jars of the pork, but Andre's going to have to distinguish the pork from the bacon, which I think the bacon speaks for itself. See, that's not the bacon. That's the liver. I mean, that speaks for itself. You can tell. You can tell the difference. Where am I? You can tell the difference. Clearly, that's the bacon fat. Clearly, that's liver. Okay? And that liver was in big chunks. So I basically just rolled it as best, or folded it, and then put a chunk of rolled up liver on one side and a chunk on the other side with a few little miscellaneous pieces to bring it up to that 1 inch mark. And it's quite heavy, right? So that's good. That's really good. Now, if you wanted to know what the grammage was on it after the fact, what you would do is you'd weigh it, the jar as is. You'd weigh the jar as is, right? And then after you empty the contents, you put the jar on the weight scale, you get another, and then subtract, and then you'll know how many grams that you got in there. I can guarantee you there's more than at least 200 grams. Okay? We'll be getting into this in terms of how we're going to cook with these things, what we're going to do with these things, because I have newer jars. This one is the frozen liver, right? So we'll do the newer jars that I did with the liver that I did in, what, 2024? And then we'll do this one at the same, this one I want to try and fry. After it, open the jar, I want to see how stable the liver is in terms of, will it just fall apart and disintegrate? Or will it hold its shape where I can dip it in egg and put breadcrumbs on it and fry it that way? You know, I don't know. We're going to experiment with it. All right. There's a few jars of that anyway. It's nice. Look how nice that is. And it was fine. Okay? If it was spoiled, you would know. Right? You'd smell it coming up through the counter as well after the fact of doing that. Now this one is the pork. Okay? I'm pretty sure pork sausage with tenderloin pork pieces. You can see that it's different. I can somewhat see, and plus the head space is higher, right? Compared to the bacon. Okay? Now, I could have put more bacon in there. I could have, right? But again, I didn't want this up too high because grease has a tendency, right, to crawl. So in terms of long-term food storage, I think these will hold up really well. Yeah. But I'm going to be using them. Now that I'm getting myself a 10-inch little cast iron frying pan. I have cast irons just regular. Where you have to be careful with the regular cast iron frying pan is with the leaching of iron. They gave Amari a blood test at the hospital to see how his iron count is. I make an effort not to cook all his food in the cast iron, because, you know, I don't want him having too much iron in his body, right? So that's why I'm going with the enamel, because it cooks really, really nice on 1, 3 temperature with a lid on it. And whatever I made yesterday, I'm so proud of myself. It's so good, right? So this, I don't know what size this one is. Every now and then, you can cook his meals in this. It doesn't say what size it is. I don't know if that's a 10-inch, maybe. But either or. I don't think it's a 12-inch. I don't know. But you know, it's like it's going to be rough, because I'm like, this is why it's important that Andre grows up. When you're in the kitchen for hours and hours and hours doing this kind of crap and having to wash the dishes and the laundry's piling up and fucking garbage is piling up and shit's being scattered around, and you're still doing other things because you got people coming into your house stealing your shit where things get mixed up because, blah, 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 or whatever. Like, yeah, Andre needs to fucking act his age. It's not that hard. I told him I had 5 kids. I've never had one so messy like you. And kids get messy, right? Everybody's got their own little personalities, some more messy than others. But for one kid, for the amount of shit being tossed around or disappearing or whatever, it doesn't make any sense outside of he's just being a little butthead, and he doesn't like to take responsibility because all he has to say is, you're lying, I didn't do it, no, because that's what other people say when I didn't throw out your stuff, I didn't steal your stuff, no, you're the problem, we just took care of the problem and put it out in the garage. And then from there, we took it and we did something else with it. That's because you're the problem. No, what you did is you stole my shit, you fucking profiteered off it one way or the other, whether you gave it to your mother, whether you gave it to your brother, whether you gave it to your fucking uncle. I don't care who the hell you gave it to. You gave it to somebody if you weren't selling it, when you weren't fucking trashing it and throwing it out or putting it out on the road. And then you want to call me the problem. As you suck hole to Andre, giving him what he wants so that he feels good, at least for a moment, thinking that, oh, they're nice people, when in fact they're plotting and scheming, trying to figure out how to make him choose. And we've had this, make him choose. So that they're stronger. They're the bigger group. So how can I expect him to listen to me? Because it's all psychological. It's internal. All right. So I have to get these out of here, and I'm tired, man. I'm weak today. These jars have been washed, so I have to label them. I have no place for them in my room, so I'm going to move that temporarily, even though that's going to be sticking out like this. And I'm going to move these off there, so I can take these and move them here, so that eventually I can wash them, and then they can dry, and then I can label them and just put them off I don't know where. And then after that, I am going to do the pot of raspberries that were frozen that's in the fridge. It's really good, and I'm just going to do them in half-pint size jars, water bath first. And then I'd like to, Tisha's supposed to come by and help me with something here today. And then I'd like to go outside at some point and get that marrow plant, and because I want to put this stuff away. All right, I'm done, right? I don't want to be canning in 2 weeks from now unless I might have to do raspberries next week because the raspberries are coming. So I'm going to can a few quart-sized jars of raspberry, like I said, in some sort of a syrup of some sort. And yeah, and then because I don't want to buy groceries. I don't, not any more than I have to. Why the hell should I pay $6 a pint, which is less than a pound, for freaking raspberries when I've got them growing out my front yard? Right? I'd be foolish not to can them. But I'll be told that I'm being redundant and that I'm wasting my time. And that I should be doing other things. And that I'm being selfish because I have no place to put it because I'm taking up too much space as they're plotting and scheming how to get more space for themselves. And then creating me work. And then telling me I'm wasting my time and I'm doing what I'm doing is wrong. Like I'm sick of it, and Andre's getting the same kind of fucking attitude. Because he doesn't want to happen what's happening to me. So he's going to be on his best behavior. As he convinces himself that when he's on his bad behavior, he has a right to be that way. Because the people around him tell him he has the right to abuse me. Because they abuse me.